allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Make sure your microphones are on, by the way, so they could pick up. Green light. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do roll call. Christopher O'Hara.
Here.
Frank Lendebarker.
Here.
Dave Brunius.
Here.
Jason Vlasic is absent. John Gill is here. We'll do the election of officers next. We'll entertain a motion for our nomination for president. Anybody can make a nomination.
You gotta make a motion.
Make a motion to nominate Mr. Brunius.
I second it.
Okay. We have a motion for Mr. Brunius and a second. Are there any other nominations? Okay. All in favor of Mr. Brunius being nominated president, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries 4-0. And if you want to move to the middle with the gavel, you could
I
take.
didn't think I forgot about that.
You're president now.
All right. And then just call for, do the same thing for a vice president. And then,
All right, do I have any nominations for vice president? Paper, rock, scissors over there.
I'll,
You'll do it?
yeah.
Okay. Nominate Chris for.
or you can't do that as president. So I'll nominate Christopher O'Hara for vice president.
I'll second it.
All right.
President.
I
second.
All in favor,
No,
say aye.
yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? None.
Then you could just move down the agenda to the rest, call out the next
Okay.
items.
Subcontractor, okay, for agenda item A, subcontractor licensing. I believe the office had some stuff for us. We went over that with, I was in the office with Billy. Basically, we were talking about like looking at what the surrounding areas are doing and matching what they're doing. I thought they'd be here, and they're not. Billy and I forget who else that was I met in there.
Was it Ashley or?
Yeah, I think it was Ashley.
Okay.
So basically, I don't know how we want to do this or what we think we should. Quite frankly, I see nothing wrong, and you're the guy who would probably be doing part of this, is why not just requiring the Lake County license, the testing? I don't know
Yeah.
what you guys would think of that.
Yeah, that would just take a simple amendment of our ordinance for contractors, and we could amend it to add, we could add workman's comp, we could add that you want the vehicles labeled, you could require, whatever.
The vehicle labeling, I think that's a big thing that
Yeah.
some of the guys, I mean, I talk to a lot of people in town that do work, because I do work around this area, and that was one of the things that they're I think the main thing behind this is just to protect our local guys from outside contractors coming in, which I get. I'm a local guy. I kind of like, working. I do work other places too, though, but, you just got to follow. If that's a rule we want to do, I think that could be anybody else got any input on that? Thoughts?
I looked up the Lake County requirements, the subcontractor license info, and it seems that they have a rule in place already, but it only applies to unincorporated areas. So for the city to do it would be a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
For sure.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I think Crown Point for a while, they required that. Now you could take their own test within the town too. I don't think we have to do that. I think it would just
Right.
be good just to take advantage of their testing,
Yeah.
and that way we don't have to do it or take the time to do it, and just kind of piggyback off of what they do. I think
Yeah,
that's
it's easy when they go to register, we can, we already vet their bond and their COI and all that before we let them register in the first, so to make them provide their Lake County license would be no extra work for the office staff in building and planning. And now that we have a full-time code enforcement officer, I think the vehicle labeling is something that we could, if we did make it mandatory, that I think we could enforce it in the field pretty easily, since he's out and about 8+ hours a day doing code enforcement duties.
And just you're riding around, you could just see,
Right.
and I think it's something that, I know it's 2025, but when the season actually starts, in March, you kind of go around, let everybody know this is going to be the rule. We'll just say this ends up happening by March. I know it's got to go through the town council and everything, but if it gets approved, just kind of give them like a 30-day window. Hey guys, this is what it is, and then after that, you start
Yeah.
really enforcing it. I think that's a fair,
Yeah.
because it is a change. You
Yeah.
don't have to like slam hard on people for that. So, what else are we supposed to just talk about that, or what do we?
The subcontractor license, I think we had to cover that first, in the sense of like whether we approve it or disapprove of it.
Okay, so
And then we approve or disapprove of the contractor testing. And then
okay. So the subcontractor license, what do we want to file a motion on that? What do we want us to file a motion on that then?
I mean, I guess whatever we decide here, I'll take back to Ashley, and then she could make the necessary amendments to the ordinances, and then we can get that rolling, where somebody can make a recommendation to the council, and then,
based on our,
yeah. Usually when we update an ordinance, like with subdivision control ordinance or something, we will modify it in-house, have the attorney look over it, and then bring it back to the board when it's all, been checked over and vetted by those people. And then, depending on the different boards, depending on what ordinance it's in, it would require different motions from different boards to be approved.
All right, so what do we do at the current moment then, right now?
So I guess we'll if you want to do something tonight, then I guess you could.
Or can we just we probably got to wait till, or here, go ahead, what, you want to say something?
Well, everybody has the email, right? We all read the same email. We're all
Right.
CC'd into
Yeah.
it. If you're wanting to vote on that and put that into the agenda, then
Well, I guess you'd vote on,
you have to read it. Into
amending the ordinance to include the labeling of vehicles and the requirement of the Lake County license. And if that's all, then, I mean, is workman's comp insurance something that you'd like to see required too, or is
I
that?
think the workman's comp thing, I think the biggest thing with that is the 1099 guys. You have, and this was, I was talking to 4 guys the other day about that, and I think their biggest gripe was, we're following the rules, we're licensed, those guys have a license, but all their other guys that are 1099 should also be licensed, because they should be carrying their own certificate of insurance too, because technically they're all getting paid as a subcontractor, right? I mean,
Right.
is that, I think the tough thing about that is I don't know really how that all works. Ashley was talking to Cedar Lake, because they just did something, and she was trying to get information from them to see what
Yeah, I think
they
we,
were proceeding with that, because I think that's a little bit more complicated than just,
yeah. We did some homework, and one of the part-time inspectors found out that Chesterton and Valparaiso have a responsible contractors amendment that they passed, and it basically would require, when a general registers, he has to provide a certified payroll, and he could be asked for it at any time. So if there's 1099 employees on the payroll, then that's a red flag for that.
or 1099 employees, like say the carpenter contractor has a bunch
Right.
of 1099, so okay.
Right. So I mean, that's something we could look into. We could go to Valpo and Chesterton and see their ordinance, and with them being in Indiana too, we would be able to do the same thing as them, since Indiana likes keeping all towns and cities on the same wavelength. You know, it's the same thing. The building code has to be the same
Yeah.
here as it is Carmel and stuff. You know, so if they're doing it, then it has to be something that we could do too.
We should look into it too. All right, so we really can't do much with that because
So I mean, we can make a motion to, you know, look into that, and then we can make a motion to start amending the ordinance to require marked vehicles and the Lake County test. So I mean, I'll make that motion if you guys are good with that.
Along with all contractors and subcontractors. I mean, that was the crux of the email, right? Was
Yeah.
making sure that you didn't general a project and then just sub it out to somebody else that wasn't licensed.
yes,
Right.
correct.
Yeah.
They would be underneath my. They'd be operating underneath my license and so on. Correct. That. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how to
So-
make that formal motion there?
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to allow building and planning staff to begin looking into and amending the necessary ordinances to require all contractor and subcontractor vehicles to be marked while working with company logos while working in the town of St. John, and to also amend the ordinance to require general contractors to provide a copy of their Lake County contractor's license prior to registering with the town of St. John.
I think it'd be general contractors and subcontractors.
Okay, yeah, I'll amend the motion to be general and subcontractors provide their Lake County license.
I'll second it.
I'll call all in favor, say aye.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Oppose?
4-0.
4-0. All right, I think, is that it?
Yeah, and then like I said, I'll have Ashley start looking into the Valpo and Chesterton, and she could send us all info on that for the responsible contractors amendments.
And then what do we do from there after that point? Do we have to have another meeting, or do we just be kinda,
Yeah, well, I mean, based on this, then she'll start the ball rolling on that, and then we'll have to have another email or a meeting, depending on which ordinance it's in. Would the plan commission recommend the changes to the town council, or would we recommend the changes? So,
okay, all right. Okey dokey, so did we have that, so that one motion that we just did hit all three of these things? Labeling of vehicles, testing requirements, and the 1099 subcontractor stuff, that's
Yeah.
all under one thing, right?
mhm.
Anybody else?
No, I was happy with what I read in the email.
Yeah.
I fully agreed with what I read in the email, yeah.
Okay, alright. Alright, so we got a motion to adjourn.
Well, we don't have any reports or correspondence, right,
Yeah.
since this is
Right,
just starting?
yeah, I mean, we
Right.
all,
Okay.
if anybody has a report if anybody wants to say anything now, you can.
Anybody?
No reports or correspondence.
Yeah.
There you go. Official. And then
All
call
right.
for adjournment.
Motion to
I'll make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
To adjourn?
Second.